Hello students, welcome to all of you once again. In our previous lecture, we had understand the detailed concept of marketing planning, types of marketing plan, advantages and importance of marketing plan, etc. Now, today we are going to learn the concept of sales forecasting, the methods of sales forecasting and the concept of sales budget. So, let's start with the study content first. So, these are the study contents of our today's session. I have to read one by one all of these study content. Study content number 1, Introduction of Sales Forecasting. Number 2, Methods of Sales Forecasting. Number 3, Sales Budget. So, we have to move forward on next slide. So, this is the basic concept of sales forecasting. Before we have to start the concept of sales forecasting, we must know to understand what is meant by forecasting. Now, forecasting is a future oriented activity. In the process of forecasting, we estimate the future events or activities in advance. In short, in forecasting technique, we have to estimate the future activities in advance. Now, self forecasting means any forecast can be formed as an indicator of what is likely to happen in the specified future time frame in a particular field. Therefore, the sales forecast indicates as to how much of a particular product is likely to be sold in a specified future period, in a specified market at specified price. Okay. In short, we can say that forecasting, sales forecasting means expectation about the future course of market sales for a product. It should be based on previous statistical data and it should be undertaken on three levels. First one micro level, second one macro level and last one industrial level. And the definition of sales forecasting is sales forecast is an estimate of the amount of sales for a specified future period under a proposed marketing plan or program. I hope you understand the basic concept of self forecasting. Now we have to move forward on next slide. Now the next concept is methods of sales forecasting. I have to explain all of these methods one by one. The first method is sales force method. Under this method, each individual salesman is responsible to forecast sales of his own territory. This individual views of the respective salesman about the sales forecast are collected, scrutinized, and discussed at each successive executive level in presence of the sales manager. Necessary modifications are made if sales management thinks necessary. This method is based on the belief that closest persons to the sales function have the best knowledge of the market. Number 2 is users expectation method. Under this method, actual users of company's product are contacted and are asked to submit the estimated quantities of the product they expect to purchase during a given period of time. Now, these estimates are pulled and thereby the sales forecast is done. This method is suitable only when the customers are well defined, limited in number, educated, and are concentrated to a limited geographical area only. Number 3, expert opinion method. Under this method, the sales organization collect opinions from the outsider specialists engage in the sales field, such as wholesaler, retailers, distributors, agencies, professional experts, trade associations, along with the opinions given in newspapers, journals, etc. The opinions are collected, evaluated, analyzed, and thereby sales forecasting is done. The next method is Delphi method. In gaining expert opinion, one method for controlling group dynamics to produce a more accurate forecast is a Delphi technique. Delphi uses an initiative approach with repeated measurement and controlled anonymous feedback instead of direct contraction and debate among the experts preparing the forecast. Now, our next method is market test. The typical market test involves placing a product in several representative geographical areas to see how well it performs and then projecting that experience to the market as a whole. Often, this is done for a new product or a improved version of an old product. Many firms consider the market test to be final gesture of customers' acceptance of a new product and ultimate measures of market potential. Next one is time series analysis. Approaches to sales forecasting using time series analysis rely on the analysis of historical data to develop a prediction for the future. Our next method is interview method. Under this method, the manager or the producer interact with customers, wholesalers, retailers, and distributors and estimate the future sales regarding to their products. This method is also one of the most important method in sales forecasting. Next method is survey method. In this method, producer or sales manager collected the various data from the various multiple sources like wholesalers, distributors, retailers, etc. and estimate the future sales regarding to their particular product. Number 9 is moving average method. The moving average method is conceptually quite simple. Consider the forecast that next year's sales will be equal to this year's sales. Such a forecast might be subject to large error if there is a much fluctuation in sales from one year to the next. To allow for such randomness, we might consider using some kind of average of recent values. Number 4 is free sampling method. Under this method, the producer of the company or the manager of a company distributed free sample among the retailer, wholesaler, distributors and customers and estimate the future sales in respect of their product. Next method is decomposition method. The decomposition method of sales forecasting is typically applied to monthly or quarterly data where a seasonal pattern is evident and the manager wishes to forecast sales not only for the year but for each period in the year. It is important to determine what portion of sales changes represent an overall fundamental change in demand and what portion is due to seasonally in demand. So, next method is previous statistical data. In this method, sales manager in this method, sales manager collected previous statistical data of various company, and on the basis of that data, the sales manager or producer of the company estimate the future sales in respect of their products. So now we have to move forward on our next concept, that is sales budget. Budgeting is an art of presenting future plans in quantitative terms. Budget is always prepared for a definite future period. Sales budget is an estimate of future sales unit, sales volume, selling expenses, and total profits from sales operation. It specifies that how much quantity is to be sold in what territories, in what in what territories goods are to be sold, to what type of customers goods are to be sold, what will be the estimated or projected amount of sales and selling expenses, and how projected sales and projected selling expenses will affect our profit. Sales budget Sales budget is an important part of overall budget of the business. It helps to prepare other types of budgets. Sales budget is prepared by sales department with the assistance of other departments under the guidance of top management or top officials. In other words, sales budget is a basic budget which influences budget of other departments like production budget, purchase budget, labor budget, overhead budget, cash budget, etc. Budget of the other departments can be finalized only after the preparing of sales budget. So student, this is the last concept of our first unit, need of sales budget. I have to read all these needs one by one. Number 1, determine sales goals. Sales budget sets a target for the sales team which they have to achieve. The expected sale volume for a particular period is determined and the efforts of the sales department are directed accordingly. Number 2, cash flow management. The company can estimate its future cash inflow and outflow through sales budgeting. This helps in determining the potential liquid cash and prepares the unfavorable market conditions. Number 3, estimate overhead cost. It also estimates the various administrative and sales expenses which the company has to bear other than the manufacturing cost, thus determining the potential profit margin. Number 4, develop core strategies. A sales budget provides a base for action to the managers. The managers frame their strategies and utilize the resources to attain the desired sales goals or objectives. And last one is streamline business process. All the business activities like production of goods or services, financing the operations, engaging the human resource and marketing activities are depend on the prepared sales estimate. So finally, we completed our first unit. In next session, we will start unit number 2, social marketing. Thank you.